There's a dangerous shift happening in modern relationships, and most men are completely blind to it. She doesn't fear losing you, because deep down she senses you fear losing her, and the moment she feels that power, the game is no longer fair. But what if you flip the script? What if you became the man whose absence hurts more than his presence ever did? What if she looked at you and thought, if I ever lose him, I'll never find another like him again? In this video, we're not talking about manipulation. We're talking about mastering Machiavellian truths, dark, powerful principles that awaken the high-value man within you. These aren't the usual nice guy tips or recycled dating advice. These are psychological weapons: quiet dominance, emotional control, strategic detachment, seductive confidence, and the art of walking away that trigger a primal fear in her. The fear of losing a man who doesn't need her, but chose her. And that fear, it breeds obsession, it builds attraction, it earns respect. But only if you understand the truth. Women don't fall in love with the man who gives everything. They fall in love with the man who has everything and chooses to give selectively. This is not a video for the weak-hearted. This is for the man ready to evolve, to walk with power, to detach with grace, to attract without begging. Let's dive into the 5 Machiavellian truths that turn the tables and make women fear losing you. Truth number 1, emotional detachment is power. Imagine a man who's calm when she pulls away, who doesn't panic when her texts slow down, who doesn't spiral when she starts acting cold. That man, he owns her mind. Why? Because women are drawn to mystery, not insecurity. Most men lose the game the moment they show their hand, constantly seeking reassurance, validation, and closeness. But the Machiavellian man understands one thing clearly. Control isn't about dominating her. It's about mastering yourself. He doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't crumble at her silence. He lets her wonder. Why didn't he react? Is he losing interest? Has he already moved on? Those thoughts are more powerful than 1,000 compliments. The high-value man knows that emotional detachment creates scarcity, and scarcity builds value. It's human psychology. We chase what feels rare. We take for granted what's always available. By pulling back, not out of pettiness, but out of self-respect, you create a vacuum, and nature hates a vacuum. She fills it with questions, with curiosity, with desire. She fears that your peace means you no longer need her. And when a woman fears losing you emotionally, she begins to value you physically, mentally, spiritually. But detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop reacting. You stop investing in people who are unsure of you. You protect your energy like a king who knows his worth. And this scares her more than anger ever could. Because when you're not angry, you're gone. Truth number 2, the art of walking away silently. Most men talk when they should walk. They explain. They justify. They beg for closure. But the Machiavellian man knows. Your silence is your greatest weapon. When a woman disrespects you, tests your boundaries, or plays games, most men engage. They argue. They try to fix things. But not you. You walk, not with noise, not with drama, not with threats, but with quiet confidence. Because the most terrifying thing to a woman is a man who doesn't need closure, a man who can disappear with dignity. Why? Because silence forces reflection. It amplifies guilt. It triggers fear. Why didn't he fight for me? Was I not worth it? Did I push away a man no one else could replace? You see, when you leave silently, you don't give her control over the ending. You leave her chasing the closure you took with you. This is not about playing games. It's about preserving your value. A man who respects himself will never stay where he's being tolerated instead of celebrated. And women can sense this. The moment you make peace with losing her, she begins to fear losing you. It flips the entire dynamic. Suddenly you are the prize, not because you said it, but because you lived it. And the moment you walk away from the wrong one, you create space for the right one who never lets you walk alone. Truth number 3, strategic mystery creates magnetic pull. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to post your entire life online. You don't need to tell her every move you're making. Mystery is not secrecy, it's power. The more she knows about you, the less she fantasizes. The more access she has, the less she values that access. Men today overshare. They tell her their dreams, their past, their weaknesses. Too early, too fast. But Machiavellian men are unpredictable. They're emotionally intelligent, but strategically silent. They reveal just enough to intrigue and hide just enough to leave her guessing. That's where attraction thrives, in the space between what she knows and what she wants to know. She texts, "What are you doing tonight?" You reply, "Taking care of something important." No details, no explanations, just calm, controlled mystery. Now her mind is working overtime. Is it work? Another woman? A personal mission? That mental stimulation is more addictive than physical presence, because women don't fall for the man who's always there. They fall for the man whose mind they can't fully read. You're not a robot. You're a riddle. And every day she's with you, she wants to solve more of it. Mystery keeps her invested, keeps her wondering, keeps her fearing that someone else might solve the puzzle before she does. Truth number 4, control the frame or be controlled. In every relationship, there's a frame, an emotional lens through which everything is filtered. And whoever controls the frame, controls the relationship. The Machiavellian man doesn't just react to her emotions, he leads the narrative. He decides the pace, he sets the tone. He doesn't get pulled into drama, he diffuses it. When she tests him, he doesn't flinch. When she throws emotional chaos, he remains grounded, because he understands. If she controls your emotions, she controls you. He's not cold, he's centered. And that emotional grounding is what every woman subconsciously craves. Because in her chaos, she's not looking for another emotional child. She's looking for a man who can hold steady, who can be the calm in her storm. Control of the frame doesn't mean dominance. It means leadership. It means being the emotional thermostat, not the thermometer. Setting the vibe, defining the standard, making her feel safe, not because you're nice, but because you're stable. This emotional leadership makes her respect you deeply. And that respect, that's what turns physical attraction into long-term devotion. Truth number 5, you are either desired or replaced. Here's the final truth, and the hardest one to swallow. Women don't wait around. They replace uncertainty with attention and hesitation with validation. If she senses weakness, neediness, fear, hesitation, she doesn't confront it. She replaces it. But when she senses strength, she attaches. Machiavellian men aren't obsessed with being liked. They're obsessed with being respected. They build themselves mentally, emotionally, financially. They radiate value. And because they never over-pursue, they become the ones being pursued. Women fear losing them not because they're perfect, but because they're rare. You become a psychological imprint. The man who didn't beg, who didn't chase, who didn't need her, but elevated her. You're either building her desire or building her excuse to leave. So build desire, not through gifts, but through growth, not through approval, but through absence, not through neediness, but through unshakable self-worth. Final message, becoming the man. She fears losing. You don't need tricks. You don't need games. You need presence, strength, boundaries, vision. When you embody these 5 Machiavellian truths, everything changes. You master emotional detachment. You walk away with quiet power. You create magnetic mystery. You control the emotional frame. And you become the rare man she fears losing. That's how you flip the script. That's how you stop chasing. That's how you start attracting. From a place of grounded masculinity. In a world full of weak men, be the one who walks like a king, even when he walks away.